Hey everybody, my name is Philip Jordan, host of the Talking SEC podcast. And if you want some more SEC content, please go down in the description below, find the links, and you can check out the full edition of this episode. Joining me on the phone right now is Brandon Eiserman. He writes about LSU Tigers for LSU Tigers Wire and the Arkansas Razorbacks for Last Word on College Football. And you can also listen to him on the LSU Breakdown podcast and the Beyond Bleachers podcast. And now we look at the eastern side of the conference, and very intriguing there as well, especially at Florida. The defending SEC East champion Kyle Trask is out. Emory Jones will be in at quarterback. Of course, they're going to have to replace a lot of skilled players around the quarterback as well. But I was really thinking about this today, as I knew this was what we were one of the things we were going to talk about here on the podcast, and this is going to be the first time I think we get to see the true Dan Mullen offense of Florida, because he had Felipe Franks the first year and a half. And look, Felipe Franks had the ability to run, but he really never really used that part of his game, that athleticism that he did have. He showed it at times, but on a consistent basis, Felipe Franks would not just allow himself to be a runner. And of course, Kyle Trask is your traditional drop back passer. So for me, with Emory Jones coming in, we know he is a threat to run. He is a good passer as well. Now, there will be good skill position players there at Florida. But for me, I'm looking at the Florida Gators. I think we're going to get the Dan Mullen offense unleashed with him, kind of like we saw with Dak Prescott, Mississippi State, a little bit of Tim Tebow at Florida, because now he has that running threat at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I think we get the full Dan Mullen offense. I fully agree with you. Kind of like with Bryce Young and Matt Corral, I've been waiting on Emory Jones, on his turn, and now that Trask is there and Franks is gone, it's his time. And you talked about Florida having to replace players. They're paying me to say this. They just recently got Eric Gilbert from LSU. If you don't understand how bad that infuriates me that he went to that rival, oh man, I was mad. Look, that's a really good thing for Florida. That gives them a really, really big momentum boost, especially at tight end. He's a really good blocker. He's a really good pass catcher. He just didn't feel like he fit in an LSU, and I get it. So now he's going to go to Florida, it's home in Georgia. But that gives Emory Jones a really, really solid weapon at tight end. It gives him an extra guy to throw to. But just on Emory Jones, man, he's got the ability to run. He can throw. I think Florida's in good hands with him for the next couple of years, unless somebody comes in and beats him out for the job. But I think it's Emory Jones' job going into 21, and I can't wait to see what the guy does. And I really want to see Dan Mullen. I want to see his full offense this year now that these two quarterbacks are gone.
Yeah, and honestly, Florida has struggled running the ball the last two seasons. And now you have a quarterback that can run it. Florida's offensive line, it's going to be big for them. But just the fact that Florida will have a threat in the running game again. And that is going to set stuff up in the passing game down the field for his offense. Because I think that's one thing I don't think a lot of people talk enough about, that Florida has been a very struggling team when it comes to running the ball. They pretty much just say, okay, Kyle Trask, let's just throw it all over the place. And that's won them a lot of games the last two seasons, but they need to get that running game going, and Emory Jones could be a big reason why.
Yeah, exactly. Florida does need to get their running game established, man. I told a lot of people, especially during the season last year, that Florida's running game was really non-existent to me. They had so much trouble running the ball last year that it cost them. It really did. Especially when Kyle Trask was struggling in a couple of games. If Florida could have established a running game when they needed to in certain situations, they probably would have made the playoffs. But they didn't, and they lacked that running game. And I think with Emory Jones going into this next season, you got that extra, you're going to be able to run the ball now. So I think going into this season, that's going to be a big boost for their offense too.
Yeah, we look at Georgia. Look, to me, Georgia is in my opinion, yours may differ. They are the biggest challenger to Alabama in the SEC because of the talent they've got coming back, and that starts at quarterback with JT Daniels. Why he wasn't starting in this past season earlier than he did, we'll never know. I think he kind of alluded to that after his first start. In 4 games, he threw for 1,231 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And when he was in there, Brandon, you saw it too. The Georgia offense was different. It is dynamic. They can beat you down the field. I mean, look, Stetson Bennett was an okay quarterback. He was a good, guy that he wasn't going to get you beat, but he did not make Georgia a difference maker. And with JT Daniels coming back, when you look at Zamir White and James Cook coming back as well in the backfield, George Pickens at receiver, among others, this Georgia offense is going to be top notch. But I always like to talk about the quarterback. That's because JT Daniels. JT Daniels to me is a guy that has potential to be an NFL starter. He has potential to be a Heisman Trophy contender under Todd Monken in this offense, and that's a big reason I'm really excited for 2021 to watch Georgia play, because offensively I think they could be one of the more dynamic teams in the country. And once again, I said this for a third time, a lot of it has to do because of the quarterback, JT Daniels.
Yeah, it really does. JT Daniels is a really, really solid quarterback. Philip, we are exactly 7 months away to the day from week 1 of the college football season when Georgia plays Clemson in Charlotte.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and pick right now, just a really early pick. I'm going to pick Georgia to win the East right now.
Ooh.
Right now. I love JT Daniels. I think Georgia's offense is going to be really, really good next year. They are the challenger to Alabama right now. They are. There's just kind of a gap between Georgia and everybody else. And it's really because of JT Daniels. If they can get a couple of things clicking offensively, they may increase that gap a little bit. Georgia is bringing back a lot of talent. I think that Kirby Smart is going to give Nick Saban room for his money in the SEC next year. But I think that Daniels can be a Heisman contender and possibly an NFL starter too. I think that he's going to come out and swing the ball, man. I really do. He's going to do a lot of things for Georgia that they've been waiting on for a couple of years. And everybody knows the situation with him. He was clear, 2, 3, 4 weeks into the season, and he didn't play till towards the end. Had they given him a chance to play earlier in the year, things probably would have been different for that team. But going into this next year for Georgia, I like what they've got offensively. Their defense is going to be good. I think Georgia challenges Bama, and I think JT Daniels is a true Heisman candidate.
When we look at the rest of the SEC East, we're running along here on the podcast, so kind of going to mold these last 5 spots kind of within one little topic here. Of course, with Kentucky, just looking at them quickly, Terry Wilson out, great winner there, but Kentucky, what's held them back is they do not have an evolved passing game. It is not a great route tree what they run. Quarterback play has not been great either. Of course, Liam Cohen, who is with the Rams, you kind of expect to see them Rams concepts coming in. You'll see Gatewood or Bo Allen there. Of course, at Missouri, Connor Bazelak, I think he played well at times for Missouri. Good foundation there for year 1 under Eli Drinkwitz. And then when I look at South Carolina, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt, which Kenny Stills there at Vanderbilt played well last year as a freshman, just no talent around you. But more importantly, South Carolina, Tennessee, they've got to figure some things out with their quarterback situation. South Carolina, you would think Luke Doty would continue to be the quarterback there. And then Tennessee, Brian Maher or Harrison Bailey are the only guys with experience coming back. So kind of some interesting points there with those 5 teams as we kind of close out our SEC quarterback conversation.
Yeah, Philip, there certainly is. I'll kind of keep this short as I can. I like Bazelak at Missouri. I liked him last year. I think South Carolina, Tennessee, like you said, they got to figure some things out. Really, so does Kentucky, too. And Vanderbilt, I think they're in good hands with Stills. But we all know how Vanderbilt plays football, and they're probably not going to win a lot of games. But I think the 2 interesting ones out of that is definitely South Carolina and Tennessee.
Yeah, those are going to be battles. I mean, like I said, Luke Doty you would think would be the guy, but we'll see. You never know what Shane Beamer is going to do there. And like I said, Clark Lee, at least first year, he's got a quarterback with SEC experience. I mean, Ken Stills showed some good things. Just like I said, they've got to figure out some things, get some talent around that quarterback there at Vanderbilt, and figure out a way to just be competitive, get 5 or 6 wins. I think Vanderbilt fans will stay happy if you just can keep the team competitive and they have a shot at a bowl game end of the year.